Hi Frank, I'll show you how to change someone's password. It's really quite simple. You simply go to Users, All Users, then you find the person whose password you want to change. So I will change mine on my test account. So if I scroll down and find it, it's Andrew Salon right here. Click Edit, scroll down, and you can generate a new password. And then you can either use this password um, or you can type in something else. So I'm not going to click, and then you need to save it, update the user. I'm not going to click that because I don't really want the password changed, but why not? So if I update the user, um, so now that password has changed. Um, and you can email that to the user. If you want, so that's the first procedure. If you're changing someone else's password. If you want to change yours, you go to your profile and under account management, you can generate, and this one I won't change, I really don't want to change this. You can generate a new password using the system, or you can put in your own. And then again, once again, you come down and you do save. And so that is how you change the password. Now, um, okay, so it was warning me I didn't save the changes. I didn't want to save the changes. Now, if I just go back to your emails, alrighty, so that's that one taken care of. Um, okay, so uh, yeah, it is. I mean, it's going to ask you, do you want to log out if you're trying to log in as someone else? Um, so you have to be a little bit careful because what we're doing is something that normal users don't do. So a normal customer won't have multiple accounts, or they certainly shouldn't, and they're not logging in and logging back. So logging in and then logging out and then logging back in. Um, it's entirely it can be done, but sometimes the browsers get confused because they tokenize. So when I'm messing around with different user accounts, as a rule, I always use two different browsers. So for my admin account on any of your stuff, I use Chrome, as you can see. But if I want to use another account, I use Firefox. And this is just so the browser tokens don't get crossed over. It has to do with caching. It's a reasonably complicated subject, um, and it doesn't affect normal users because normal users don't have multiple accounts. So that's probably where you're getting your wires crossed. And when you reloaded the page, this again, a reload, when you press the reload button, you're overriding the browser control of the flow. It's really hard to explain. Um, But basically, the browser has used tokens to maintain security, and it knows where it is until you press reload, and then it's just confused. So if it thinks you've logged back in, um, it will override certain things and log you in as the new user. And again, this is a reason why I personally I stick to using other browsers if I'm going to use different users, particularly at the same time. Now, there was another question there. Okay, the delay. Okay. All right. So, I can't remember which email that was in, but you had a delay. All right. So, this again is a complex subject, but what basically happens is that when your WordPress site sends you an email, it pretends that it's at the domain the of vitalplus.com.au. But in reality, the email server that the system uses isn't at that domain, it's at SiteGround. So for a normal user, so here I'm looking at the password resets I've done. This is fine. It doesn't worry it, it doesn't upset it. But you're using Exchange, and I have the same problem as well. And Exchange is a lot cleverer than normal email systems. And Exchange, and this occurs with both myself and with you. You have a bigger system, but I essentially have the same system. So Exchange knows the domain vitalplus.com.au. It knows it because it controls the mail from it. And so when another site, in this case it's a site that you happen to own, so it's legit, but Exchange doesn't know that, when it attempts to send an email to you pretending that it's Vital Plus, your Exchange knows for a fact it's not Vital Plus. That doesn't happen with other users. It doesn't happen with me now because the admin email is now in the Vital Plus domain, not in my domain. So Exchange gets its knickers in a knot, and it can delay the email. It can send it to one of those spam folders, or it can just not transmit the email. It's a bit of a problem. It's an unfortunate one, but it's how Microsoft has chosen to set up Exchange. So I'm hopefully that this is not going to make a liar of me. I haven't done this today, so if I choose lost my password, and I put in the one for the Andrew account, which is salesmatters@gmail, I'm hoping that I can show that this happens more or less instantaneously. So a password, so it's been sent, and hopefully it will show up while I'm making this video and not make a fool of me, but we'll see. Yeah, there it came in. So I don't know what the clock was on that, but it was under a minute. Okay, and that happens to me whether I use whether I use my Gmail account. If I use my marketing first aid account, I use the info one, not my normal one. So here's one that I did last week when I was testing. Again, came in under a minute. And also with my Microsoft personal Outlook account. So I think that's what's happening to you. I can't be 100% sure until I see it. But just just relax a little bit and understand that some of these things are happening because you are an administrator on the site, and that makes things a little bit different than what normal customers see. And that's pretty much it. I'll give you a call shortly.